Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. This is Mary Correa. I have to start today by eating a little bit of crow. I have not been a big fan of Mod Podge, and if you've ever been to one of my workshops and brought a jar of Mod Podge, you know my reaction. I kind of scared everybody away from it by promising that your pages are going to yellow and things are going to fall apart. But I have found a use for Mod Podge Ultra in a spray, and it's helped me use some of my neglected supplies. So one thing that I have lots of are distress inks and the Dylusions sprays and also distress oxides. And I don't use them a lot in my journal, especially the distress inks and the Dylusion sprays, because they're water reactive. And I tend to layer and layer and layer and layer. So if I put down something that's water reactive and then I put some more acrylic over it, I'm going to start mixing colors. So if I were using all cool colors, that would be fine. But you all who know me know that I don't plan my pages. There may be some pink and then some green and then some yellow. And so I need things that are permanent when they're dry so that I can go ahead and keep working. So here are some things that I did. This first page that I'm working on here is distress inks. So these are inks in a spray, and I'm using that dark blue. The middle color is peacock, and then I believe it was fossilized amber. It's one of the yellow shades. So I went ahead and sprayed those very heavily. And you can see I protected the area around my page because the sprays do tend to go places. So I've done my spray. I got the distress spray dry. And now I'm coming in with this Mod Podge Ultra that comes in a spray bottle. And I am liberally coating that page. And then I'm also going to let that dry. And the finish that you end up with is amazing. It makes the colors even brighter than they are. That's the one thing I've always loved about distress inks, and why I probably keep buying them, is because they have gorgeous colors. Tim does such a good job of picking out colors, but then again, they just don't work in the way that I work. So page 2, I'm trying some of the Dylusion sprays. Now, I did not try any of these sprays before I started recording, so you will see the sprays don't work. I'm not really good at taking care of spray bottles. You're supposed to like clean them when you're done, apparently. And I don't do that. So another way, if you have a bottle that won't spray, is you can just open it up and pour it on. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I do finally find one color that I apparently cleaned or didn't use a lot. And that one was able to spray, so I used that one through a stencil. So like I said, this is just one of those supplies that has been sitting in my drawer, just gathering dust, because I haven't found a way to use them other than sometimes I'll use the bottled sprays as if they were watercolor. But other than that, I mean, I have watercolor, so why wouldn't I just use watercolor? Anyway, so they have been sitting. I really wish I had left this page just the way it is. It's kind of like one of those Rorschach tests. Like, what do you see when you look at it? And you'll see I'm using a paper towel just to pick up some of that spray, because when I poured it on, you can imagine there's a lot on there. One thing I will warn you about is if you use sprays, they do tend to settle into the spine of the book. And if you have a sewn binding, they can travel to other pages. It personally doesn't bother me, but if it does bother you, it's very easy to take a piece of, I'd recommend artist tape, which is the white tape, down the spine, and that would go ahead and seal your spine. Or you could also gesso your pages and just make sure you gesso in the spine very, very well. And that'll prevent the spread from page to page. So here I added that stencil. I found the red that worked, probably because I had never used it, because red's not one of my colors. And I'm going to get that dry, but I am going to come back and add some more onto this page before I get it completely dry, and then you'll see that I'll come back in with the Mod Podge again. Here I found another pink, so we're going to try that with the stencil. And I just like to build these pages. Really, this is going to be a background, so because I was able to learn how to use these in a way that works for me, I'm going to be able to cover a lot of backgrounds really quickly and get them in the journal so that when I'm ready to work, I already have a background to work from, and I can just pick which background I want to start with. So again, I'm just finishing up this page. I'll get it nice and dry, and then I'll come back and I'll hit it with that thick layer of Mod Podge again. On this third set of pages, I wanted to try some Distress Oxides. So I went ahead and grabbed those, and again, 3 shades that will work together, so if they mingle, it's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and spray those on just like I did on the very first page. I'm not using any stencil on this one. You'll see with the oxides, I use some more water. I find with the oxides, when they spray, they create the circular pattern, and because they don't have quite as much water in them as the Distress inks do, it tends to hold that circle. So what I do is I just hit it with some water, and then those colors will start to merge. I'll get it nice and dry, and then I'll come back in with the Mod Podge all over again. Now I've come back to that second page that I did with the dilution sprays, and I wanted to test if this worked. So usually if I were to try to stencil over my dilutions or distress inks or distress oxides, especially if I was using white, that white would start to get tinted with whatever color was underneath of it, because remember, it's water reactive without that layer of Mod Podge. So now that I had the Mod Podge on there, it was dry. I wanted to see if I could stencil over top without it interacting. And I'm happy to report that it was successful. So now I have that red and pink page with white stenciling on top that was not discolored by any of the sprays. So it provides that, the Mod Podge provides that protective layer in between your water reactive products and the next thing you're putting on top. So if you start to think about anything that you use that is water reactive, say use Stabilo pencil or a Neo color, maybe you could try the Mod Podge over it if you decided that you wanted to add another layer over top. So I hope that this has given you some ideas, and you start looking through your stash and maybe using up some supplies that you had given up on. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thank you guys for joining me. If you like this video, make sure you please subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell, because that'll let you know anytime I have a new video. So have a great day and happy arting!